I don't really know what I'm doing.
It's kind of true. Oh man,
uh,
look at me. I'm all. Oh, the sun's been on
you
me.
look.
It's
I was
just
gonna say
been.
you look like you've been hurting. So listen, um, let me know when that logistics job comes up, man. Cause come July, I might be making the move back to my other place, my old place.
To back
To
to the
yeah, doing the trade show stuff.
yeah.
Well, it's a money thing, bro. It's at the end of the day, it's what it's coming down to is money. It
Wow.
sucks, but if
Well, I just got screwed over a little bit this week. Like tomorrow, I'm gonna work just to 6 to 10. I can only do 40 hours now. So all that
ooh,
crap that they
yeah,
talked to me about, hey, you're gonna make this overtime, and
yeah.
it's all there for you. This week they cut all the overtime. Like tomorrow, I don't even know how I'm gonna get shit out tomorrow.
Yeah, that's a dude. You know how many times? I mean, even when I was there, like they were like, no, no overtime, no overtime, no overtime, and then
Yeah.
they start running behind, and then they start letting it slide. So
Yeah, but I mean, they are trying to kind of read like I think it's an opportunity to redo some shit. You know what I mean? And
right,
like get shit in order and let me put together a tweet here. Looks like crypto's trying to bounce back a little bit right now. It's
yeah,
in the
dude.
doghouse.
Doge went down like I thought it was, but I
And
had
now it's making a move now.
yeah, I had like doubled my money, over doubled it.
Yeah,
Yeah, like last week, I was like, holy crap! I'm like, it only took me a week and a half. I doubled my money already.
yeah, yeah. Hopefully it was a decent amount.
No, it wasn't.
Um, no, I mean it's something.
It's enough to fill up
Let's
my gas
see.
tank a couple times.
There you go. There you go.
So, well, technically, the way gas is going right now, that's a blessing.
Yeah.
I gotta.
If you Let me see if
Where's
I can
gotta clean these glasses, man? I was wrestling with my dog, and she has a
see here
very,
we go.
I don't know, she has some kind of film on her saliva or something, dude. It just, I mean, it just cakes to you.
Let
It's so slimy.
me see here.
So what have you been up to, man? We haven't been around
Oh
since
man,
last
you got
week.
us up there. Like you got us up there already.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, we're not messing. 8:30 is 8:30. We stick to the plan.
We are not
Are
messing
you
around
sending the
here
tweet out? Are
today.
you tweeting?
I'm gonna put a little Facebook blast out here.
Okay.
Let's
I'll
see.
I'll do the tweet.
Okay, okay. Remember, it does it automatically, but it's good to give us a little more personalized one.
Well,
Uh,
I like to post it on my personal or my gaming one too.
yeah, that's cool.
Yeah,
Well,
it's been an interesting week and a half.
Magic are getting spanked.
That's good. We want them to get
Yeah.
spanked. We want all of the spankings. But I don't want to like jump into too many topics or anything, but yeah, the Magic at the Hawks, I did see that.
Yeah.
Udonis Haslam, he's 40 years old now.
Yeah. Well, he's looked 40 probably for about 10 years now.
That's true.
Oh, let's see here. Let me click on this
To
girl.
know about rolling. I can't get that song out of my head now. I
Yeah.
was listening to something the other day. I think it was something on the radio about how that guy used to be a he was in like telemarketing or something, and
Okay.
he just hated it. He's like, I can't do this my whole life. Like I can't do this, and I guess he like went home and like was talking to his mom about it. And he's like, I'm just gonna go full into it, into music, and guy ends up dropping a banger. And in my
Hey,
head, I'm
man.
like, you know what? That must be nice to just like not have responsibilities or bills, where you're just like, I'm just gonna do something different and not have to worry about it from a financial aspect, and my mom can take care of
Yeah.
me. It's like, God, I
Yeah.
wish I would have taken advantage of that when I was younger. I went the other way. I mean, you did too,
Alright.
technically.
Yeah. Yeah. I should have gone on and played soccer in college like I was supposed to.
Mm.
Oh well.
But no,
Nope. 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 Let's see here.
we could have got a degree in radio. I mean, really, I probably wouldn't even know who you were.
Yeah. Well, graphic design is what I went to school for. So
Well, you suck
Let
at
me
that.
look it up. Well, it's been a long, long time since I did anything in graphic design. So in that world, everything changes
I don't know.
already.
You were holding it down on the Instagram post for a while there. When we first dropped on the scene, I was like, okay,
Yeah,
we got our guy now. But now
yeah,
we got to start pushing Nate Dogg. I mean, at just this point where like you're his dad, you need to just tell him. Don't let him decide what he wants to do. Just tell him what he's going to do. He needs to
yeah,
start working for
yeah,
us for free.
yeah. Really, yeah. Nate Dogg is nursing an injury. He fractured his ankle.
Oh
He's in a boot.
shit.
Yeah,
So
he's in a
he's
boot.
so he's stuck playing Rocket League.
Well, as long as he can, as long as his mom allows him to. So,
Dang, that
yeah,
sucks. Is it a walking boot at least?
yeah, he has a
Oh, that's
walking
good.
boot.
So
We
at
had
least
an
he can put a little
option.
weight on it.
Yeah, we had an option: walking boot or cast, and we're like, let's just go with the boot.
Yeah, that's way better. You don't want to have to. I mean, the
Yeah,
cast is cool. Battle scars, chicks dig it, but I get it.
yeah.
All right, so
But I mean, he's
let's
doing all
talk
right
some
though.
sports, man.
Let's do it,
What do
man.
we
I
what do we
mean,
got going on? What you got any topics? Cause I got a couple, little tidbits. Um,
yeah, we talked about some stuff, but I do want to maybe local to us. We'll start and kind of knock this one out of the way. It's been kind of a topic here locally for us, and we actually touched on it a couple weeks ago. The Orlando City Soccer Club is being sold and is pretty much sold to the Wolf family out of the owners of the Minnesota Vikings. So that rumor that we
Now
had
we
that
we
one night,
broke this. We broke this
yeah.
a long way
Well,
back.
yeah, we'll say that that Louis, my brother, actually in the chat, kind of threw it out there and caught us completely off guard, and then we were like, "What in the world?" And sure enough, we looked it up, and it was kind of all over. And this week they came out and confirmed it and said, "Yes, we have sold." And I believe the number is somewhere in the $500 million, uh,
That's it.
category. Yeah.
Well, I guess the team's probably not worth
So
that. That's probably how much they owe on the stadium. Probably broke even.
maybe, maybe. I mean, the stadium was the stadium was I think 85 mil or something, somewhere around that
That's
number.
it. Why
So
am I don't know. I,
yeah,
I just feel like I have high expectations on stadiums. I'm thinking like
yeah,
football. Dallas AT&T Stadium or something. It was like two
yeah,
billion dollars or something.
yeah. I mean, these stadiums are a lot. The capacity's a lot less, or a lot smaller, a little more quaint, if you will. And it's, even though it is a nice stadium, I think it has everything that you need in a stadium kind of jam packed in there. But it is, it's small, But I like going there. I like watching games there. They're not a bad seat in the house, in my opinion. But
So is
sure
Jared
enough,
Allen gonna be working there? The
I don't
Viking
know. Maybe
great?
he'll be.
Maybe Adrian Peterson?
Yeah, they'll be scanning your tickets when you get in. But yeah, the Vikings. I mean, it's not a bad deal. I mean, if you're going to go into from the ownership group that we had, I think there's a lot of fans that, while happy that Flavio, the owner, purchased the team when he did. I think a lot of people are glad to see that next step. You know what I mean? He was
Yeah.
able to build the stadium. He was able to get the team kind of rolling. Finally made the playoffs last year. Competitive squad this year. Uh,
Now he's out.
but yeah, now it's time to bring in that next group of ownership, um, which a lot of people don't know this. What excites me about it is that a lot of the major clubs in Europe have American ownership groups. You know what
hmm
I mean? They are,
Raymond
well,
James.
it's not American. The European soccer is better, and America's never. Well, folks,
Look who owns the
The
teams.
American. You're right. Ownership groups are the ones that are running these teams. The Glazer family. Oh, in Tampa, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, they own Manchester United.
Yep.
You
Jacksonville.
have right, Mr.
Khan.
What's his name? Khan. What team does he is he a part of? I don't remember
It's
offhand.
it starts with an F, I think.
All right, but we also have a portion of the ownership group of the Yankees is a part of the ownership group of the Manchester City.
Fulham FC.
Obviously, okay, Fulham. It's a pretty good squad over there. You have the Fenway Corporation, who owns the Boston Red Sox. They own, I believe it's Liverpool. Um, so you have a lot of these American ownership groups that are part of soccer already, and European soccer at that.
Yeah.
So to start seeing that, translating and for those groups to be excited about buying major league clubs, I think says a lot of good for the league and for Orlando City in particular, that an ownership group like that, it's willing to you know to fork up the money, buy the club, and hopefully grow it into something even bigger. So
Now, is there a salary
exciting
cap
times.
in it's MLS, right? That's the U.S.
Right.
Is there a
MLS,
salary
MLS.
cap like in football and
There is. There's different tiers of players that you have. You have three designated player spots, which those are the guys on your team that are going to make all the money. So the Nanis of the world, Carlos Vela,
Kaká,
Beckham, Kaká when he was here, right? Beckham when he was playing. Those are the types of guys. Zlatan
Messi?
Ibrahimovic when he was here. Well, yeah, he would be definitely. I think they might have to give him all three of the designated player spots to cover his annual salary. But yeah,
Interesting.
I mean, so you have that, tiers. So you have those guys, and then you have different tiers going down as what they can make. And I think they've been doing that steadily here for the last for a while, just to grow the league. They've had several expansion teams, and as they keep growing now, and they get to the final number, which I'm sure it's going to be something similar to the NFL, to
Right.
MLB, which is somewhere between 30 and 32 teams. That seems to be kind of the number here for the U.S. Once they get there, I think they're going to start opening it up and saying, "All right, y'all, go ahead and spend a little bit more." And I think that's when we're really going to see soccer boom over here, when they start opening up the checkbooks, and some of those European guys that really are clamoring to come live in the U.S. are going to have the ability to come here and make good money while playing soccer. I think that's when the MLS is going to explode.
Yeah, it's interesting now too, because with the Vikings organization, with the owners, I think that comes with a lot of fan support too. Just even if they don't
Yeah,
know anything about it, um,
right.
I feel like a lot of Jacksonville Jaguars fans became Fulham fans when Shahid Khan, for I think his
Right.
name is, what is it, Shahid Farouk Khan. I think he when he bought the team, I didn't even know that that owners did that. Other than the Bucks, but when he came over, I was like, all right, I gotta start looking into that. Like I was like, I could, of the Florida teams, Jacksonville's probably my favorite because they're always kind of the underdog. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
but
So,
this is a good segue into football because there's been a lot that has transpired
yeah.
recently.
Oh yeah.
News just coming out of New York is that Kelvin Benjamin is working out with the Giants after a 3-year hiatus, and
Mm,
that's something to keep
okay.
in mind. A lot of people are kind of got question marks and curious, but what you have to understand is that the vice president of operations for the Giants now is Dave Gettleman, and Dave
Mm,
Gettleman was the one that drafted Kelvin Benjamin to the Carolina Panthers. So he did have, I mean, Kelvin Benjamin. I feel like we talk about Kelvin Benjamin a lot because the expectations when he got drafted was he was this big, Calvin Johnson kind of guy, and injuries kind of really derailed his career. And hopefully, I mean, I'd love to see him be able to bounce back. He had a great rookie year, over 1,000 yards, but we haven't really seen him since 2018. So
yeah.
that's just recent news. That just came out, a couple hours ago. So
Yeah. Well, I mean, they can definitely use some bodies over there, and like you said, that connection there. It seems like every week we talked about that, where these teams are trying to make use the connections that they had, and guys that they feel comfortable with bringing to bring in. So, um, yeah, I mean, I guess not surprising. The what I did hear today though is that I guess the Jags still haven't quite made it official with Tim Tebow.
correct.
And we are uh, Tim Tebow plays a little bit into what we'll be talking a little bit later as well. But yeah, I mean, again, teams going out and reaching out, whether it be through the draft or free agency or unrestricted free agents, that they're comfortable with, that they know, that they have a history with,
Hmm.
just trying to build that team camaraderie. So not shocking to hear that. Uh,
I did see the Packers have a new quarterback in their.
yeah,
Oh man, UCF great, Oviedo High School alum. Let's go Lions. Blake Bortles is a
Blakey
Packer.
Blake
Is
sure
a
is. He
Packer.
sure is.
You love to
Man.
see it, and what's funny is this has got to raise some eyebrows as to why they would make this move in the first place, because they still have Aaron Rodgers and they have his backup,
Right.
and Blake Bortles is a solid backup. I mean, so it's
Yeah.
kind of curious to see, because I believe that the season opener with them is Green Bay and the Saints. So the potential is there where you would have seen Drew Brees and Aaron Rodgers. We could possibly see Jameis Winston and Blake Bortles playing
Wow.
against each other.
I mean, what a fall from
Think
grace, I
about
guess, right?
that.
Yeah. Yeah. It's I mean, if that's the case, then you're Green Bay, you're really admitting to a lot of wrongdoing because you drafted this guy in the first round when you had opportunities to get other guys.
Yeah.
So if for whatever reason Aaron Rodgers decides that he's going to be the host of Jeopardy because he's just not going to play, for Green Bay next year, and they elect to go with a guy like Blake Bortles, no knock on him, of course, but if you're not going to start your guy even in year two, um, then maybe you need to start admitting that you made a poor decision on drafting the kid to begin with. So, um,
We got the
yeah,
legend in the chat, by the way. He was the one that gave me that little tidbit,
legend.
the little tidbit of Blake Bortles and Jameis Winston possibly. So
Yeah,
shout out to him. He tries to feed us the tidbits during the week, little ideas, stuff he
yeah.
hears. Um, but I wanted to roll into, this was a controversial topic semi. We don't really get into that too often, but I saw this on First Take, and I decided that
Hmm.
it's time for Sideline Sports Talk to do a second take on, do we think that it is fair that that Tim Tebow is getting a chance to play, or is going to play, and not Colin
Hmm.
Kaepernick? And
Hmm.
the comments I saw on First Take, they were treading very lightly around the race issue. When everyone that watches ESPN, all 12 dozen of them now because nobody likes it anymore, knew why they were bringing this
Yeah.
up. So
Hmm.
what are your thoughts on that? Do you think that it's fair that Tim Tebow gets to play football and Colin Kaepernick doesn't?
Well, I, I, there's obviously several different ways to look at this and angles to take when you're talking um, about these guys, right? Again, I will say the obvious one for me right off the bat is what we've been talking about over the last couple of weeks since the Super Bowl. Teams going out and finding familiar faces, right? So if
Mm-hmm.
you look at it just on the face, as far as the Jaguars are concerned with Tim Tebow, you look at it just on that side. Obviously, Urban Meyer and Tim Tebow have a great relationship, and it goes back to UF. They won some games, they won a national championship together. That's like his kid. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
First year in Jacksonville, you have a quarterback in Trevor Lawrence, whom is getting all this publicity. Why not kind of take that some of that publicity away from him by bringing in a guy like Tim Tebow, which everybody knows is going to bring in his own publicity, um, and a guy that's going to be, even for the lack of talent that he has at the position that he was trying to play, which was quarterback, even though he's trying to go into something else, um, will be a good locker room guy. Um, a guy that can rally guys around him, right? And I mean, he's just non-controversial, right? So is he going to be a tight end? Is he going to be a good tight end? Is he going to even make the team? Who knows, right? So like I just mentioned previously, he's still not even signed yet officially. Um, with Colin Kaepernick, the issue is, and I will say this about Tim Tebow real quick too, is he's going into a new position, right? The thing about Colin Kaepernick, and that I think people try to dismiss as well, is that Colin Kaepernick in his last year I mean, he really wasn't playing well. You know what I mean? And when you look at it, and you're an owner, and you're looking at, your GM is coming to you saying, "Hey, listen, we can bring in a guy. I mean, he'll just be a backup. Not quite sure where his skill set is right now, and it's going to cause some controversy if we bring him in because of everything that has happened to this point, right? I'm sure the owner's going to sit there and go, listen, I just don't want any part of that. And I don't think at this point it even has anything to do with race anymore. Like I think maybe several years ago, yeah, you can throw that around. I just don't think that it has anything to do with that anymore. It's just Colin Kaepernick is trying to go back into position, or potentially would be going back into a position that he wasn't even playing that great at the time when he was, pushed out of the league. Um, it's not like Aaron Rodgers getting pushed out right now, and people are going, "Oh my God!" But the guy still has a bunch of the tank. He's super talented. He's reigning MVP. No, you know what I mean. Unfortunately, yeah, we do live in a world. If Colin Kaepernick was the reigning MVP and he took a knee, things would have been very different. But the reality is that when he did that, he was not playing well, and he was an easy scapegoat. You know what I mean? So, um, is it fair for one to get a shot and not the other? I think that it is fair. And my side, I would say that it is fair because the one guy that's trying to come back and is getting a shot right now is not getting a shot at the position that he was playing poorly before because Tim Tebow is not a good quarterback. Tim Tebow should have come out of college. It should have been a tight end at that time. For him to sit there and be hard headed enough to try to continue to play a position that clearly he just was not good at, I mean, that's just him being hard headed. At this point right now, he's still trying to take advantage of an opportunity, he wants to be a part of a league that he enjoys the game of football, and he's willing to make a change to a different position. Would he be getting a shot anywhere else if he wasn't switching positions? And if it wasn't Jacksonville? You know what I mean?
It's a good question.
So at the end of the day, I just think that as far as fair, it's fair if there's a market for you. It's fair if the risk reward for bringing you on and making you a part of a team is going to be beneficial to a team. It's a business, right? And it's going to be a business decision. It's not a feel good story, right? There's a lot of guys that want to play in the NFL, that want to play in sports, in professional sports, and those numbers, compared to the rest of the population, it's a very select few that get to play in these teams. They're valuable positions. You can't waste it on just a feel good. We're not just gonna, dangle something out there for somebody so that we can feel good about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So is it fair? To me, it's fair. The guy made a decision to play another position that's going to give him an opportunity to get back into the league. If Tim Tebow wanted to be a quarterback again, this coming season, Tim Tebow would not get a shot anywhere because Tim Tebow throws the ball. He's the same thing as Cam Newton last year. He's throwing the ball on the ground, throwing it in the guy's helmet. I mean, he's not accurate. He's not a quarterback. All he does is run around. Yeah, it's exciting at times, but at the end of the day, it's not winning football. So to me, it's fair.
So very rarely do you and I fully agree on things, but I've got to agree with you on this because the thing is Tim Tebow brings more to the table in a positive way than Colin Kaepernick will. So there's one strike, okay? Tim Tebow brings character, he brings humility, and he brings a hell of a lot of leadership to any
Yeah,
team he goes to, even if he's not playing. I, I honestly think this might be his foot in the door of being groomed to become a coach, to become an offensive
right.
coordinator or some kind of, line coach or whatever. But the fact that, and like you said, with the new quarterback coming in, with the new coach, there's a lot of what ifs and is this going to happen? Is this going to work? Tim Tebow comes in now immediately. Nobody's talking about Trevor Lawrence. Nobody's talking about what's going on. They're talking
Yeah,
about Tim Tebow now. Is he going to be a Jag? Blah blah blah. Is he going to be a tight end? Possibly. Is he going to be good? Probably not. But the fact that he has the ability to where he can step into that QB role if he needs to, some crazy trick plays, whatever. But the character, the humility, and the leadership is what they need to go for in Jacksonville because that's what they need
right,
with a young quarterback. Somebody that's
right.
been there, somebody that's had a team put on their back, and he was actually successful when it happened to him,
Yeah,
winning a couple playoff games. Um, and with Colin Kaepernick, it has nothing to do with anything other than the fact that Tim Tebow is not trying to become a quarterback. He's becoming a tight
right.
end. Colin Kaepernick has had opportunities to come back into the league. Baltimore
Mm-hmm.
wanted him. He didn't want to do it. He wanted more money.
Yep.
He wanted this. So it has nothing to do with anything other than Tim Tebow is strictly there because Urban Meyer wants him there, and the leadership and the humility and the character. That is 100%. I love Tim Tebow. I think he's a phenomenal athlete. I mean, he's
Yep.
proven that. He's a great leader. He's well spoken. He's patient. I mean, like this guy checks every box other than the fact that
Yeah.
he's a 75.3 QBR for his career. That's it.
Yeah.
So
And keep in mind, Timmy, he's a legend up in that area in Jacksonville, Gainesville area, right?
Jerseys,
So
baby.
all of a sudden you have the excitement of Urban Meyer, who is a legend in his own right in the area because he won a national championship with him. You have number one pick Trevor Lawrence coming in there. You have all this excitement and all this buzz, and then you add Tim Tebow, who's a huge legend. The guy has a freaking statue in front of their stadium out there at UF,
Hmm.
um, or a plaque or whatever it is that he has out there. But you know, why not? Again, it's a business decision. At the end of the day, does anybody think that Tim Tebow is going to be the second coming of Gronk? No. Does anybody think that he's going to be Travis Kelsey or any of these big tight ends right now? Absolutely not. But he is going to bring in the local crowd that maybe is not quite as excited as they once were, or whenever they last were excited about it.
Yeah.
But he'll start bringing those people again, and like you said, the leadership qualities. He knows Urban Meyer. He knows the system. At the end of the day, it's a business decision, right? That's everything that these guys do. It's all about a business decision. Um, and with Colin Kaepernick, I mean, business wise, where does he make sense? You know what I mean? Like you said, Baltimore decided we want to give you a shot. This is what we can afford you at. Do you want to do it or not? And he decided, no, I don't want to do it. Don't say that you're not being afforded
Hmm.
opportunities when you're the one that's shooting them down, right? We're gonna do a tryout, and what do? You last minute when people show up to where it's supposed to be, you decide to change it, do your own thing, and then you try to make it about your own. You know what I mean? You're entitled to your opinion. I have nothing against Colin Kaepernick. I have nothing against what he's tried to do. I think that a little bit of what he was doing was twisted the wrong way because of the people that kind of got into it, way higher up the chain in politics and whatnot. At the end of the day, though, if you're looking at it, regardless of what would have happened, if he would have taken a knee or wouldn't have taken a knee, do you think Colin Kaepernick would be in the league still to this day as a quarterback based upon just the qualities that he has as a quarterback, his skill set, and the level of play that he was at the time? I don't think so. I don't
No.
think Colin Kaepernick would have played maybe another 2, 3 years as a backup, and then finally he would have fizzled out because people would have seen that his skill set is not what it needs to be in the NFL.
Yeah. And I mean, look at Jimmy G. I mean, the guy's got the talent and whatnot, and
Mm-hmm.
nobody wants anything to do with him. I mean, what happened to him? He got hurt. Why does nobody like Jimmy Garoppolo now? like,
Yeah,
and he
yeah,
wasn't even playing bad. He got hurt.
yeah,
So I mean,
yeah,
it's I mean the fans and the league, we are a very fickle bunch. It does not take
yeah,
long for us to lose not respect, but to lose patience, to lose that excitement, that fire that ignites us into wanting to watch those games and watch that player. I mean, look
yeah,
at Dak gets hurt, and all of a sudden now all eyes are on Andy Dalton. This is your team now. Andy
yeah,
Dalton's he's a top quarterback in the league because he's with America's team and he's a quarterback. And now who's talking about Andy Dalton now? Nobody. You know,
right,
I mean, it
right.
doesn't take much for people to switch like that on you.
Yeah. And remember, Timmy, we live in a world, right? Whether it's right or wrong and cancel culture and all these other terms that people throw out there, we live in a world where we, the fans, unfortunately, we're the ones that build you up, and then we also tear you down, and then we decide when we want to build you back
Yep.
up. And you kind of have to put your head down, and it's unfortunate. Is it right? Is it wrong? Who knows, right? But everybody's entitled to their opinion on that. But the reality is that we're the ones that are going to decide when we want to build you back up. And if you just put your head down and you decide to work and work hard and get yourself in there, eventually you might get built back up. But if you're going to be hard headed and you're going to kind of shoot stuff down, then you're never going to get that opportunity. And he should just start looking for something else if in fact he's still trying to get back in the league.
Yeah, and it's going to be interesting. And I mean, and the thing is, at the end of the day, unfortunately, there's a lot of negativity coming from the Colin Kaepernick fans and supporters towards Tim Tebow, and Tim Tebow is the guy, and he understands why that's happening, but he also is the kind of guy that can let that go, and that's again character,
Mm-hmm.
leadership. Don't think that Trevor Lawrence isn't seeing that. And you don't think that
Yeah.
we all know Trevor Lawrence hasn't lost a game ever. He's
Mm-hmm.
never lost a game. You have a guy like Tim Tebow on your back now, and you lose your first game. You're not, you're walking off the field with your chin up still. You know what I mean? That's why
Yeah.
he's there. And this
Yeah.
is how I mean, they have to sign him to a 1 year deal if they haven't already done
Yeah.
it. I know 2 days ago they were
Yeah.
talking about it, but they have to do this for him to be
Yeah.
able to pull him off to the side in the locker room and say, "Listen, man, this was going to happen. You knew it was going to happen, but now it's happened. And
Yep.
guess what? Next week, we lace up and we go do it again. And if we lose again, we learn. As long as we're learning and
Yep.
moving forward, I mean, that's the kind of guy he is, man. I want to go be a Jag just to be with him, you know?
Well, he's the type of guy that NBA teams, we see this a lot in the NBA where you have a young team with a superstar on it that's kind of moving up, and then they bring in a guy that has been around for a while, has experience, a lot of great veteran leadership, and he comes in and he's able to kind of keep those guys on track. He's able to help that young up and coming superstar stay in his lane, navigate him through the ups and downs of becoming a superstar. Is talking for him and in the media. That's the type of guy that you need when you have a guy that is projected to be a star, right? Because until he's able to kind of hit those speed bumps and get through them, and become a full-fledged star in his own right, it's good to have those guys that are going to help again navigate him through those muddy waters to get into superstardom. So that's a perfect guy to have on your team again, that knows the coach, knows the system, knows the city, knows the fans. I mean, it just makes too much sense for him not to be there. Even if you're bringing him in as a fourth, fifth tight end on there, you just
Get
want
him on
him
the
there
sideline.
because he's right. He's gonna have he'll be able to listen in on the offensive plays. He'll be able to sit there and talk to the other players around him, the young guys. I mean, that's what it's all about. I mean,
I will say,
with Colin Kaepernick, unfortunately, that's not what the type of skill set that he brings to the
yeah.
table. So again, business wise, it just doesn't make sense.
The legend in chat, by the way, just literally took the words out of my mouth. Okay, the movie Bull Durham. This is exactly what happens in this movie. Okay, Kevin Costner is brought in as a catcher for this up and coming Nuke Lelouch, aka Tim Robbins, coming in, and he is literally there to get this guy into the show. That is the only reason he's there. This is why Tim Tebow would be there. It would be to keep Trevor Lawrence, like you said, keep him level-headed, keep him in his lane, build him up in the interviews, be there to tie the guy's shoes or something. You know what I mean? Just to keep
Yeah,
him humble and say, listen, you're our guy. You're the guy.
yeah,
This is your team. We're just here to support you. And I mean, it's
yeah,
a lot because it's a lot on a number one pick going to a shitty team.
yeah,
It's a lot to take on. And I mean, we've seen
yeah,
quarterbacks that they were able to turn around. Sometimes it took them 2 or 3 years. Sometimes they come in and they can make stuff happen in a year. Get a little positivity,
yeah,
and that's all you really
yeah.
want at the end of the day. Is just positive vibes, man.
Yeah. And at the end of the day, you're playing such an important position in a sport where confidence is such an important part of what you do. He goes out there after not losing in forever, like you said. All of a sudden, he throws a couple of picks. He makes a couple bad decisions, holds the ball too long, gets hit, fumbles the ball, whatever the case may be. And that confidence starts to kind of shake a little bit. You need a guy um, like a Tim Tebow again that can come back and say, listen, people talk plenty of crap about me, and I'm still here, and I'm still trying to make it happen, regardless of what people are saying. You have the skill set to do it. You can get past this. Again, why not?
Yeah, and I mean, like you said, this is not there's nothing negative is going to come out of signing Tim Tebow to the Jacksonville Jaguars. The team is going to make money. You're going to sell jerseys. This guy, he might have one of the top selling jerseys if he signs with Jacksonville. A tight
Yeah,
end jersey,
yeah,
Tebow
yeah,
Jacksonville Jags jersey,
yeah.
because one thing
Yeah,
Jacksonville fans don't
Tebow
do is mess around.
85 jersey or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, what are the
Well,
new
now,
numbers that they can wear now?
yeah, I think you could probably wear 15 still.
Can he wear his
So,
old
I
number?
mean, it might still work. It might still
That
work.
would
But
be
yeah,
awesome.
I mean, that'd be full circle for him back in that area over there around his people, his fans. I mean, why not?
That'd be awesome.
Um,
I would love to see
that
that.
would be awesome. Sticking to football, Timmy, schedules were released,
Hmm.
and a lot of buzz and a lot of around that. Season kicks off. It's going to be a day where you're probably going to have to call out on a Friday because the season starts on Thursday, as it usually does, with the defending Super Bowl champion coming out there, typically getting spanked. because they're getting rings or they're getting their banner, they're all hyped up, they got all this hoopla around them, and then they go out there and they play a team that is much more focused than they are typically, and they end up getting whipped. Is that going to be the case this year? I think you would certainly hope so, because your team gets the season started on Thursday night, NBC primetime, against the defending Super Bowl champion Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Dak
What are
is
you
back,
looking forward
baby.
to? Well, I don't know. Will he be back for the first
They
week?
are
Will he
saying
be
all roads are leading to him being ready for the preseason, being ready for training camp, being ready for week one. The guy's got an
okay?
eight-figure contract now. I mean, he got everything he wanted and got hurt. He's got a nice rested arm, and I can't tell you who's more excited, if it's me or if it's the offense of the Dallas Cowboys, knowing that they're going to
Yeah.
have their guy back, because this is going to be crazy, because we haven't seen what this team can do since they brought in CD Lamb, and we're going to have pretty much everybody healthy on the offensive side.
Yeah.
We've got this new guy on our defense, this Micah Parsons guy, who they're projecting to be the defensive rookie of the year. I mean, as always, there is so much hype around the Dallas Cowboys coming into the season, and will we have an 8-8 season? Who knows?
Yeah. Well, I don't know that you can have an 8 season now because
8-9.
yeah, now you have the extra game, but just looking through it, I mean that obviously is the probably it's going to be the biggest game of week 1, not only because it's the defending champs, but because it's Dallas, and I think there's going to be some high expectation, just like you said, for Dallas this year. So a defending champion, obviously, that brought back literally from that Super Bowl run, against a Cowboys team that is going to have high expectations. So that's going to be exciting. Then week 1 kind of fizzles out a little bit after that. I mean, you have Green Bay and New Orleans, but no longer a Drew Brees there, so who knows what that's going to look like. A potentially good matchup is a 1 o'clock matchup with Pittsburgh traveling to Buffalo. Obviously Buffalo coming off the season that they had, so expecting high things for them. And then, Pittsburgh bringing back some guys. Hopefully, a Big Ben that's healthy. They have Najee Harris now as a running back.
Yep.
So that's a game that can be exciting there for week 1. Anything else that jumps out at you for week 1 of the season?
Week one, no, not really. There are some good games during the season. I think we can definitely look forward to. I know October 3rd is the Bucks and the Patriots. That's going to be a Sunday night football game, which is going to be. I think there's going to be a lot of hype around it. Is it going to be a good game? I don't think so. I think the Bucks are going to completely
Well, not
run over.
so fast. Not so fast.
Mac
Not so
Jones? Are
fast.
you kidding
I
me?
think I think you're gonna see, going into that game, you are potentially gonna see maybe potentially a 3-0 Buccaneer team going into Foxborough to play maybe a 2-1, New
The
England
record
Patriot
doesn't
team.
matter.
Um and I think, well, here's the deal. I think the Patriot defense is going to be much better than it was last year, and I think if anything, you're going to have a strength against Tom Brady, is that it's a defense that's played Tom Brady for 20 years.
Tom
You
Brady
know,
knows that, though. He knows that.
ah,
He's gonna.
so
Here's
we'll
the
see.
thing. They're gonna say, okay, we know what Tom Brady can do, so we have to think that Tom Brady is gonna do something different. So we'll plan on him to do something different. While Tom Brady knows that you know that, so he's gonna do the same thing, thinking, knowing that you're gonna think he's doing something different. Oh my gosh, he's already won the game and it hadn't even happened yet.
I don't know, or maybe he's going to see some completely new wrinkle that he's going to go, damn it, Bill, where the hell was that when we were playing
Twelve
and we
hundred
lost some of
dollars a
these games?
ticket? Is that what they're selling for
Yeah,
that game? Holy
yeah,
cow!
yeah, and I might be going, so I might be forking that out. We'll see.
See ya. I won't be there.
Um, I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try.
I
We'll
know
see.
there is
We'll see
a
how it
who is it?
goes.
The Jets and Jacksonville, I think, play this year too, right? So we'll potentially get to see the number one and number two quarterbacks
Hmm.
going up against each other at some point. So
Yeah,
that'll be a
which means
good
for
game.
me as a New England fan, that if that's the case, we'll see Jacksonville as well. Week 2 doesn't have anything really crazy that jumps out. Um, I mean, really, I mean, you just look right down the line. It's nothing, you know, to write home about. I mean, other than a potential Sunday night game with Kansas City traveling to Baltimore, that's probably your highlight of week 2. Moving right into week 3. Again, I mean, it feels like there's just not a whole lot of excitement, but I mean, I guess as the season, kind of rolls through and teams start making runs, you start figuring out who's who. Some of these matchups take a little bit of a different feel to them, but in reality, I mean, week 3 is kind of a dud. Your team plays Monday Night Football, hosting Philadelphia.
Holla.
San Fran and Green Bay could potentially be a good game, but who knows if the quarterbacks are going to be there. Um, so yeah, so Papa Foskey
The
there wants to talk
The Bucks
about
play the
some
Rams.
Vikings.
Vikings play Seattle week
In
3.
Yeah, that's
But
not a bad one.
the Bucks,
Vikings in
yeah,
Seattle, and
Bucks Rams game will be good.
yeah, and it's in LA.
Yep.
So we'll see. That helps my team for week 4, which we just covered now, going into week 4. Um, Kind of an exciting one is going to be the Jags at Cincinnati. That's
Yeah,
a
Joe
Thursday night
Burrow and
game,
Trevor
and
Lawrence.
yeah, I think by that time we probably should see Joe Burrow back on the field for sure. And that's going to be a battle of the last 2 number 1 picks. So
Yep.
we'll see how that goes. Um, and
Bucks
then
Pats.
yep, Bucks Pats is going to be a fun one there. You got Pittsburgh going to Green Bay. That has some good potential there. Again, all depending on who Green Bay has behind the center there
Yeah.
starting this season. So,
Well, we still don't
uh,
know what's going on in Denver. There's a lot of mumbling that Aaron Rodgers is going to end up in Denver. Um,
does he
so
want to go to Denver,
I think he wants
or
to
is
go to
it,
Denver.
or is it just the fact that they have assets or whatever it is that that can potentially make a deal work?
Well, I mean, it's Mile High Stadium. He can throw like 20 yards farther.
Yeah, good point. Good point.
That's all I got.
I'll tell you what, he'll make my pick last year. I'm always a year early, and you can probably share this with the folks out there. When it comes to fantasy football, I tend to be a year early on guys.
Yeah.
I was a year early on James White. I was a year early on Noah Fant, who's going to be the guy that next year, especially if he gets a guy like Aaron Rodgers, is going to be making some crazy noise. I was a year early with Devontae Adams.
Yeah, I draft
You
all the
know,
guys that you like from the year before. I draft them the following year.
yeah,
That's what I do. I write
that's
them down and
almost a
post-it note.
given. It's almost a given. Well, yep, he'll be good next year. I had Debo Samuels. I've had a slew of guys that I
Where we're
grabbed
going?
knowing that they're
Who?
gonna explode. Yeah, yeah.
Who?
I always hear this in the draft from Tim. All right, let's go to page 3 to find Ricardo's guy.
Yeah. Let's
Because
keep moving.
but they typically pan out. So
He's drafting guys where
uh,
I'm typing in the name and the name doesn't even pop up. It's just kind of like I'll just manually put it in. It's fine.
yeah,
They don't have
yeah. We'll
stickers
just
for them on the board.
yeah, we'll just figure out the spelling. We'll make it up.
You got to dig out a Sharpie somewhere to write his name down.
Yeah,
Week
yeah,
5 is Buffalo, Kansas City Sunday night, which will be that'll be a pretty good game.
yeah. That's
Hopefully,
gonna be
barring
it should
injuries.
be an exciting one. I tell you what, the Monday Night Football game that week shouldn't be too bad either. You have Indianapolis going to
Yeah.
Baltimore, and you have Carson Wentz in there. By that week, we should definitely have a really good indication of what the
Hmm.
Colts are going to look like now. Having Frank Wright, kind of back there with his guy Carson Wentz.
Although
So
5 weeks in, Carson Wentz might break his back. So
definitely,
yeah, they might have to
may
bring
not
Peyton
be
Manning
available.
back in.
Yeah, yeah, and then to start the week off, that Thursday night game should be pretty good. It's a solid one there. The Rams going to Seattle,
Hmm.
so that should be seems like
Matthew
business
Stafford.
picks up a little bit there. Which, by the way, sidebar: if you're Matthew Stafford, do you not feel a little bit disrespected that the Rams made a call to Green Bay to try to get Aaron Rodgers and made a little bit of an offer? I mean, are you not sitting there going? I haven't even suited up yet, guys. I
Here's
mean,
the thing. You do not care as long as you are not in Detroit anymore. Because if they had gotten Aaron Rodgers or whatever, Stafford would have went somewhere else. Stafford could go to any other team and he would be happy.
yeah, just don't send me back there.
Just don't send me back to Detroit.
Yeah.
I mean,
Um,
I know we've talked about Stafford and his career, and just how good he is. This is when we're gonna find out if Detroit was holding him back, because now he's got weapons, he's got an offense, he's got a defense. I mean, he could potentially be the number one quarterback in the league this year.
Yeah, his numbers can be
Yeah.
insane. I'll have to make a mental note that to try to snatch him up in the late round in our draft, because I'm sure he'll still be there.
I don't know. Knowing
Um,
our guys, he'll be gone in the second or third round.
well, one of our guys in particular may draft him fifth. So,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know, uh,
If he doesn't take a
so
kicker
week,
first.
yeah, week 6. Interesting matchup again, depending on who Green Bay has behind center. Is Green Bay going to Chicago and having a guy potentially a meeting against Justin Fields? Again, week 6 have a pretty good indication of where he is in his development. Also, that week is a big week for me and you. Well,
Mm-hmm.
might have to watch this one together.
Dallas at New England.
Yeah, Dallas at New England, and then later on that night, Seattle going to Pittsburgh. So
Yeah.
again, after week 5, business starts to pick up a little bit. You have Kyler Murray going to the Browns, playing against what's his name, Mayfield.
Yep.
Um,
You got the Chargers and the
so
Ravens.
yeah, so business picketh
It's gonna be
up
some good
in
games. Yeah. And you got
you
you
know
got Tua and Trevor Lawrence going against each other in the 9:30. What is that? The game overseas in England.
the early game.
The
All right,
early
sweet.
game.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, those are good because you wake up and you turn the TV on and
Football's on.
almost always go, oh shoot, I forgot this game was on. Man,
Yeah.
all right. You know what I mean? Get to eat breakfast and watch football. That's solid. Um, week 7, any exciting things in week 7 for you, Tim? Anything that jumps out
Kansas City,
at you?
Tennessee will be a good game. I think that's going to be an aggressive game. You're going to have probably the top running back in the league going against the top quarterback. Um,
Yeah.
that's always fun to watch and see how those games play out. The big one is going to be Detroit and the Rams. Jared Goff and
Mm,
Stafford going against each other. That's going to
yeah.
be the game to watch. I think. I'm
Yeah.
very excited just to see how, because I think Stafford's going to win that game, and it's in LA. I just want to see his face when he walks off the field. I mean, they win 42
Yeah.
to 7 or something, and just like,
Yeah.
see you later,
Yeah.
boy.
Man, if you're Jared Goff, man, what a fall from grace, right? You go from being in LA, beautiful new
Yep.
stadium, weapons around you and whatnot, and then all of a sudden you're in Detroit, and
Who
the
used to be
complete
the highest
rebuild.
murder rate in the country.
It's just yeah, not I mean, wow. You know. Week 8, we move into week 8. Kyler Murray hosting potentially Aaron Rodgers. That's a Thursday night game, and I do love the fact that Fox picked that up and that now so much easier to watch these games.
Yeah.
Um,
Pittsburgh, Cleveland, those are always
Pittsburgh.
good
Yep,
games. Yep.
yep. Pittsburgh, Cleveland. Those are rough, tough games. Um,
Cowboys,
the
Vikings. Might have to go to my dad's and watch. Oh, that's a Sunday night game. I don't know. Might have to just
yeah,
Skype him.
yeah. You have San Fran and Chicago. Again, depending on what Justin Fields is doing, you
Hmm.
potentially have maybe Trey Lance is in there.
Yeah, Bengals
You
and the
know,
Jets. Another. I don't
yeah,
think it's going to be a barn burner, but it's going to be two top quarterback prospects, up and
yeah.
comers.
You got Trevor Lawrence facing going out west and playing Seattle. So he gets to see Russell Wilson up in personal and see that beautiful deep ball
Woo.
that he throws
Tim
out
Tebow
there.
will be there, bro. It's
Uh,
okay.
he can't run in the ball that he puts out there. So I get to see a lot of DK Metcalf, and then Dallas, Minnesota, the Sunday night game. That's gonna be that should be a fun one to watch as well. Where are we? We're halfway through the season now, there, Timmy.
The season's already over at this point. Now we're getting
Yeah,
depressed.
yeah. You start looking at it, going, hey, my team's out of it. You
Yep.
know, just 91-64. The Hawks are whipping up on the Magic. Let's do it. We're
Ugh.
all for that. We are all for that. We are tanking. I don't know
Week
for who, but
nine.
we're
Week
tanking.
nine is going to be kind of a meh week. Green Bay, Kansas City could be a good game. Tennessee and the Rams Sunday night. Chicago, Pittsburgh. Those are always Chicago, Pittsburgh always a good
Mm,
matchup.
yeah, yeah.
But the
Green
early
Bay,
games, man.
4 o'clock game. You have Green Bay going to Arrowhead and playing against Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs.
Yeah.
So that has some pretty good potential. I tell you what, the Tennessee and the Rams at that point in the season can be a pretty interesting matchup too.
Yeah.
Teams from one from either conference and
Tannehill and
Sunday night game.
Stafford.
Yeah, that can be a fun little watch
Hmm.
there to finish off the night. Um, then we're rolling right on out to week 10.
Week 10. Yeah, I mean the thing is, you used to get excited about the Saints, but with Drew Brees being gone now, it's kind of
Yeah,
hard to be
yeah.
excited about that.
That transition to the next guy is tough. Believe me, Saint
Especially
fans,
when it's
you can
Jameis
ask this guy
Winston,
right here. Yeah, yeah. He's a lot like
Cam
Cam
Newton.
Newton.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry ahead of time. I'm
He's going
just
to throw
sorry.
47 touchdowns and 56 interceptions
Yeah. Yeah, he's gonna get down by 5 touchdowns, then he's gonna bring you back only to throw a pick at the end to lose it.
to lose it. Yep. That sounds
That's
accurate.
his MO. The Browns at a 1 o'clock game there, going to New England. We'll see how New England is doing at that point in the season.
Vikings Chargers should be a good
How they're
game.
doing. Yep, that should be a little fun one to watch there. You have Seattle traveling to Green Bay, could be a fun one, and then the Rams and San
San
Fran on Monday
Francisco.
night.
Yeah.
I mean, has some decent potential there.
Hey, the
Um,
California teams, man, we love watching that.
yeah,
And it's only
and
going to
who
be
knows
5
what the
o'clock in
Raiders
the
are gonna
afternoon
do?
when that game comes on.
I know. And then, I mean, there's a lot of bad football in here too. I mean, it really is. You start rolling
Yeah.
through next week, which is week 11. You have the Green Bay going to Minnesota. That could be it's always a fun watch there.
Yep.
Um,
Dallas and Kansas City. You got the Bengals
man,
and the Raiders. That could be a good game.
tell you what, that Dallas Kansas City game in week 11. I mean, you could be looking at 9-1 teams, 10-0 teams playing against each
I mean,
other.
that could be playoff implications too.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah, that could have a lot to do with any one of those teams being a top seed in
Yeah.
their conference. So,
Arizona, Seattle's the
um,
same way.
yeah, yep. Um,
Pick your Super Bowl
Papa,
teams tonight. Mm,
yeah, I don't know. We could do that just yet. We can't do that just yet because we don't know where Aaron Rodgers is going to be.
mm. So
We
you
don't
think
know
Green Bay could make the Super Bowl, huh?
we don't know if Tim Tebow is going to be a tight end or not for real. There's just a lot of unknowns. We can't make those. We don't know if Aaron Rodgers is going to be the quarterback of the New
I'll
England
call it right
Patriots
now.
yet.
I'll call it right now.
What you got?
Bucks and the Chiefs.
Oh wow!
Bucks and the Chiefs again. I'll call it. I'll call it
You want
early.
to call? Hmm.
I mean,
Wow.
who's gonna stop them? These are the two best teams, and it's not like they're super teams. Like they're just better. You know, they're better.
I'm gonna call the AFC Championship and the NFC Championship. I guess I can dwindle it down. I guess.
You might as
Let's see.
well.
And the NFC Championship, I could definitely see a Tampa Bay Buccaneers hosting your Dallas Cowboys if everybody's
Ooh,
healthy.
I would love that.
I think that's a very real possibility. And then in the AFC, definitely the Kansas City Chiefs
And the
are gonna be
Rams.
hosting a team, and probably gonna be the Rams. Man. It's the AFC. And I think people are going to be surprised, but I'm not surprised. I mean, I'm a homer. I think the Patriots are going to be back in the AFC Championship game.
That's a
do.
fan
I
pick,
mean,
man.
it is a fan pick, but I look at it overall, the moves that they made this year, the defense coming back the way they're coming back. I
What
mean,
about Buffalo?
I think Buffalo is still going to be Buffalo when they play a good New England team. They're going to find a way to lose a game. It's just the way it is.
Interesting.
Yeah. So I'll leave it there, and then I'll pick a winner somewhere down the road.
week 6.
Yeah, somewhere in there. So yeah, some pretty good football games. The one that obviously jumped out at me when the schedule came out was Tampa Bay going to New England. Obviously, Tom Brady headed back to New England. His dad actually came out and put out a tweet and said, at that point in the season, we're going to be going up there to try to improve our record to 4-0. So he's already, which surprised me a little bit that Papa Brady was slinging some dirt at the team that made his son famous and
Yeah.
rich. But it is what it is.
But it is what it is. So Dallas
So-
Dallas is playing Tampa in Dallas week 1. Right?
No, in Tampa.
In Tampa? Oh
Mhm.
man. I don't know if I can afford to go to that game.
Mm.
I mean, like monetarily wise, I don't know
I
if I
mean, I
have
don't
enough
know,
money to
man.
go to that game.
It might be some cheap tickets. Tampa Bay fans, for whatever reason, just don't show up. Um,
Yeah, but this is week one, defending Super Bowl champs, and they're playing Dallas, and there are a ton of Dallas fans in Florida. There's a ton of
oh,
Dallas fans everywhere, but
we'll have to hit up our boy Rick to see if he's gonna make it out there.
yeah, we'll have to. I'll call my ticket guy. I got a guy who might be able to find us
Yeah,
something affordable. Might
yeah.
cost us 150, $200 or something.
That's not bad to go to a
Drive
game
to
like that.
drive
One
to
fifty,
Tampa
two
and sit
hundred.
up in the nosebleeds.
Hey, do it. Yep. Um. So yeah, we'll see. We'll
Yeah, the
see what
Bucks. I
happens
mean, the
there.
Bucks re-signed their entire starting lineup. So, I mean, it's they got nothing. They can't do anything worse, better. They can't do anything better than they did last year. So,
Well, I guess the question is, do you feel that they overachieved, or were they that good?
I think they were that good. Honestly, I think the coaching, allowing uh, Tom Brady to do his thing, allowing him again with the leadership and having that. It's almost like every guy on the offense kind of felt a little bit better, knowing, okay, Tom Brady's
Mm-hmm.
got the ball. Everybody on the defense, it's
Yeah.
okay. We gave up a field goal, we gave we got Tommy. It's okay.
Right.
And I think that level of comfort allows you to play at a higher level. You know.
Yeah. Yeah. It almost seemed like they started focusing on the defense and said, "Tom, you handle the offense. We'll make sure that we get our defensive
Yeah.
guys to do what they need to do." And because I mean, I thought that was as a complete a football game from a one team
Mhm.
that I seen come together in that Super Bowl. Defensively, they stopped the best offensive player in the league. And then offensively, they went out there and put up points. It's not like they won like the Ravens won against the Giants back in the
Right.
day. They won. They put up points. I mean, they scored. So very much a complete game. And it finally came together at the right time in the last game of the season. But yeah, we'll see what happens there. What do you say?
Sit down
Down
by
by
six.
six,
Give
give
me
me
the
the ball.
ball. That's true. But yeah, I
Hey,
mean, it's gonna be exciting, man. Football is almost back.
almost.
The fun
Well,
stuff.
the rookie started coming into camp today, so
Mhm.
they were reporting today. So yeah, some excitement on that front. We have
Well,
playoff hockey starting up soon, and I know we don't have I haven't seen Dollar Bill come through. I know that this kind of came together a little bit later. So some of the guys that usually come hang out with us are not available tonight. But yeah, we have some hockey starting up this weekend. I think the Bruins start their playoff march this weekend as well. Maybe I'll try to catch a little bit of those games. Um, Baseball's doing its thing. Did see that there was a fan brawl. I don't know if you caught this, Timmy. There was I believe it was the Rockies and the Padres, I believe, are playing. I hope I got those two teams right, but a fan just came right up to another one. I think it was a Padres fan came right up to a Rockies fan and just flat out just clocked them, put him out, and it started his melee in the stands.
oh
Well,
wait, is this it? I think I found it.
welcome back,
Let's see. Let's see. Oh yeah, here it is, right here.
fans. Welcome back. uh,
Oh!
that was
Just cold
a
cocked
crazy
him.
video to watch as that went down.
He just cold cocked him.
I think I lost you a little bit, Timmy.
I
I
mean
can't
he.
hear you.
I mean he dropped him. I'm sorry. He dropped him.
Yeah, you pulled up the video. You're seeing it
Yeah, he
now.
dropped him, dude.
Yeah,
Well,
I did did I get the teams right? I believe it
it
was
was the
Padres,
Padres. Yeah, it
Rockies.
was Padres and the Rockies.
Yeah, yeah. He just came right up to him, and I don't know how or why, but I guess they had the cameras on him because
Yeah,
I mean, it's a legitimate video.
yeah.
it's not like somebody with a cell phone camera. I mean, it's a legitimate video in the stadium.
Mm.
And you can hear the announcers in the background. So clearly it was the broadcast, and they caught it right there perfectly when the guy comes up and just cold clocks this guy and just puts him out. I mean, he folded like a lawn chair for sure.
Well, and the other thing, speaking of civil unrest, I guess you could say, is the NFL is going to have to make a decision on what to do with Deshaun Watson pretty soon.
Yeah.
Now that the settlement stuff is pretty much off the table, they've had at least four people speak with the NFL. They're gonna be meeting with him and something's going to happen with him. We don't know what yet,
Yeah,
but Deshaun Watson and the Houston Texans are still up in the air again. Another team that you don't know you don't know what their team's going to do this year.
yeah, yeah. And the guy that was already seeking a way out of Houston. And you know what, Timmy? It's you think about it. He's very adamant about wanting to get out, wanting to get out, wanting to get out. I wonder. I mean, I'm just just thinking out loud here and kind of roll with me here for a second. I wonder if this whole "I want to get out, I want to get out" type of deal um had something to do with what he knew was coming.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? I wonder if he's like, all right, crap's about to hit the fan. It's just gonna get ugly for me. Let me get the hell out of town.
Yeah,
And started seeking, trying to find a way out of Houston. Um, I wonder if that's kind of what prompted all that. But at the very least, I mean, as you know, I'm not the biggest Ezekiel Elliott fan, but when he had his issues, um, the NFL went ahead and suspended him for what, 6 weeks, 6 games. So
yeah, it was 6 weeks.
yeah, and that was a situation where I think it was a lot less. Uh, I don't want to say it wasn't serious, but because there was allegations against him, but it was not quite what this is, and that was 6 weeks. So if I would expect if the NFL is going to have a level of consistency that they
Yeah,
go ahead and remove him probably for the length of the season. I would not be surprised to see that happen.
yeah, it's interesting, but to I guess to move over into something a little more positive.
Hmm.
Just to go along with the question here, the legend brought up best actor to play a sports figure, and who was it? This is a good question. I know you're not a big movie
Mm.
guy.
Mm. I'm
Obviously
trying
we
to be.
got
I'm
we
trying to
got
be.
we got Ray Liotta playing Shoeless Joe in Field of Dreams, but I will
Hmm.
say, and I recently saw this movie, and if you guys have not seen it, it's on Netflix. It's called Greater. Um, Definitely recommend you see this. I mean, it'll bring tears to your. If you're a real true athlete and you can get into this movie and you love sports,
Mm.
if you guys have never heard of Brandon Burlsworth, he was a walk on, big guy. He was a walk on for what team was it? I can't remember what team it was. I think it was Arkansas. And one of those feel good stories where his faith and his attention to detail and his work ethic allowed him to become a walk on at Arkansas. They
Mm.
always told him he
Okay.
wasn't going to be able to do it, and the guy that plays him, Neil McDonough, just completely will rip your heart out of your chest. And the
Mm.
story about Brandon Burlsworth, obviously, so he ends up becoming a walk-on, gets on the team, he becomes a starter, becomes a what's it called? What's the like an all-star for college? I don't remember what they're called.
Like an All-American.
An all-American becomes an all-American as and he was a walk-on, gets
Hmm.
drafted to the NFL, to the Colts, dies in
Okay.
a car accident before he even steps on the field as a Colt.
Wow.
Okay, and
Wow.
now what you guys don't know, what some people haven't heard, is the Brandon Burlsworth Character Award. This is given out every year
Mm.
in the NCAA football. It is given to the best college football athlete that is a walk-on. This award is strictly for walk-ons. So if you guys ever hear about the Brandon Burlsworth Award, that is a major accomplishment for any college athlete. But I definitely recommend checking it out. It's called Greater on Netflix. Amazing movie, man.
Mm. Okay. I'm gonna have to take a look at it. I thought, I mean, the one that comes to mind to me, just because, I mean, I don't know, the guy I thought did a pretty damn good job at it was Will Smith playing Ali, just because of the nature of how Ali was, and at that time when when he was playing the character, I thought that he did a good job of adapting and demonstrating what kind of that brash kind of persona that he had in those days.
Yeah.
So that one comes to mind.
Sean
Trying to think
Astin
of
is
any
Sean
other.
Astin is Rudy is a good one. Rudy Rudiger. Um,
Rudy.
but that's just
Yeah,
that movie in general is just a fantastic movie. So it's
yeah,
it's hard to
yeah.
it's
Such a
hard to
classic,
yeah.
Rudy.
And I mean,
Man.
look at I mean, and you can go the other way where athletes becoming actors. You got Terry Crews, and you got guys like Burt Reynolds. A lot of guys don't know Burt Reynolds
Mm,
was fullback for Florida State. So
mm.
goes on to become an amazing actor. So
Yeah. Oh yeah. Hmm.
And you got. I
Um,
mean, there's some great sports movies out there. I mean, you got Brian's Song. Now, the tough thing with that is a lot of that is you don't really know the characters themselves as the players. Like, movies that are back in the 60s and 70s, we didn't know those guys, so we didn't know how they were. So we just assume, okay, that's who that person was. That's how he was.
yeah,
And like you said with Ali, it's a little easier to see that because we know
yeah.
Muhammad Ali. Where
Yeah,
it's a
we've seen
recognizable
plenty of
thing.
videos, right? We've
Hmm.
seen plenty of videos of Muhammad Ali in action from the time when he had that kind of persona, and to see it come to life on screen with a guy like Will Smith, who did a great job, I thought was pretty cool. Um, you know, I
Willie
guess
Beeman, Willie
I don't know. What
Steeman
are your
Beeman.
thoughts on? I saw Moneyball.
You did.
I saw Moneyball not too long ago. I think I told you about
Well,
that. Did I not tell you about that?
you. I think you mentioned it, but I don't know if we talked about it on stream. What did you think?
Loved it. Loved it.
Billy
I
Bean.
thought it was great. Billy Bean. Interestingly enough, at the end of that season where they made the huge turnaround, and it's crazy because I'm watching the movie and I'm remembering things from that season. I remember them, um, that game where they broke the record for or set the record for consecutive wins. I remember, kind of getting an update, an alert, a Sports Center alert that they were like on the cusp of doing that. Um, you know, and then at the end of it, to see that the Red Sox offered him their GM spot and him turning it down, which then became Theo Epstein, general manager of the Red Sox,
Hmm.
who obviously created the team that ended up finally breaking their curse,
Yeah.
winning a World Series, which catapulted him to the success then that he went on to break another curse in with the Cubs. Um, winning the championship there. Um, just the trickle down effect was amazing. But just to see that kind of come to life and to how they thought about baseball and
Yeah.
um, man, that's the kind of stuff that I love about sports is seeing that type of action. It's not just about what's on the field, but it's that mindset behind the scenes of how we're going to put this thing together. Much like what we were talking about Tim Tebow earlier, going to the Jags. It takes all kinds of players and personalities to make these teams work.
Well, and I mean, you can go back and I'm sure the legend remembers all these movies, but like the movie Somebody Up There Loves Me, the boxing movie where Paul Newman plays Rocky Graziano, um, Gary Cooper, who played Lou Gehrig in Pride of the Yankees. I mean, there's a lot of Matthew McConaughey, who played the head coach from Marshall in We Are
Mm,
Marshall. That was another good
we are
one. I
Marshall.
mean, who was it? Vince Papali, Mark Wahlberg, when he played the guy from the Eagles, and he was a walk on for the Eagles. That was a real Vince Papali's
Yeah,
a real guy. Um, the
Mark
and
Wahlberg.
Denzel Washington from Remember the Titans. Herman Boone,
Yeah,
he was a real. I mean, that
yeah.
guy. Come on. I mean, he
Let me
wasn't
tell you,
technically an
my
athlete, but
God,
that's a great movie.
my goodness gracious. Yeah, that one actually, I don't know how I forgot that one because, I mean, pretty much anything that Denzel Washington touches turns to gold. And
Yes.
that is a classic. That's one of those when you're flipping through channels if people even do that anymore.
Hmm.
Um, but if you're kind of rolling through and that you come up on that one, it's like, I don't care that it's halfway through. I'm gonna finish watching this one.
Yeah.
You know, uh, but yeah, I mean, great, great, great movie.
And
I
Samuel L. Jackson played Coach Carter. That was a true story.
Yeah,
Ken Carter. So there was a.
yeah,
I mean, there's you don't think about it. Billy D. Williams, obviously, the guy from Star Wars, played Gale Sayers. I know we talked about that in the chat there with James Caan and Brian Song, which was another phenomenal movie. Ali. I'm just going through the list now.
mhm,
Like I found a list here. Um, but I'm just looking for the big ones here. Tim McGraw, playing the dad from The Blind Side, which was another. They said, these are all real people. Like all these actors are
yeah,
being people that were, real life people. Even Jonah Hill in Moneyball. I mean, the character he played, the guy in the movie, they changed his name, but that guy is a real guy.
right,
The guy,
right,
I think he went to like
right.
Harvard or something. So
Yeah.
But that was
Yep.
that's a solid one there, man. You could talk about that for a while and get you to start watching some movies you haven't thought about.
Yeah. Yeah. Sports movies are awesome, man. I don't know. I've enjoyed trying to catch up on some of those. The
Well,
one
you got to
with
watch Greater now.
I'm gonna have to make a point of watching that one.
Hmm.
Um, but Show 'em the Curve is one that I really enjoyed. I don't know if you've seen that one.
Show him the
Uh,
curve.
I believe it's Show 'em the Curve or Throw 'em the Curve. It's with Clint Eastwood, and it has you want to talk about guys from other mediums that that move into something else. You have
Trouble with the
also
curve. That's what you're
Trouble
talking
with
about.
the
Trouble with the
Curve.
curve.
That's what it
That's
is.
why it's throwing me off.
Um,
Like, wait a minute.
that was a cool little movie
Hmm.
too with Justin Timberlake, whom is a very, in my opinion, an underrated actor. Even though he's a
Yeah.
great singer, very much an underrated actor. But yeah, cool movie there. If you haven't watched that one, that's definitely something to watch as
The
well.
the rookie. I think the movie The Rookie was a
Mhm.
true story too. That was the one with
Yep,
Dennis Quaid,
with
and he played
yep,
Jim Morris,
yep,
the
Jim
pitcher.
Morris.
Yep.
Yep,
Yep.
good old Jim Morris. Yep,
There you go. And who was another
yeah.
one? Robert De Niro played Jake LaMotta in a boxing movie too back in the day. I remember that.
Mm,
Yeah, you're a
okay,
boxing guy, so you might
yeah,
appreciate that.
okay.
What
All
was the other
right,
one? The
all right.
Hurricane with Denzel Washington. The one about the boxer that goes to prison. Remember that? That was a true
Vaguely remember
story.
it. Mm,
Yeah. What was
okay.
that guy's name? That movie
Hmm.
came out like
Hurricane, huh?
the Hurricane. It was Reuben Carter.
Okay.
That was another boxing movie. If you've never seen The Hurricane, that's a good one. That's a really good one.
I don't think that I have seen that one. I'm gonna have to give it a look.
I got
Give
all
it
these
a look.
movies for you, man. I had to
Yeah,
look
I
that
have
one
to
up
make a
because I
list.
remembered it. I just couldn't remember who he played in the movie. The
Hmm.
Hurricane.
Okay.
And
All
then,
right.
I
All
don't
right.
think Jesus Shuttlesworth was a real guy, but he got game. Another classic film.
Yeah, another one. Another one for sure. Um, yeah. So I mean, hey, a little bit of a downtime with the sports. Not a bad time to watch some of these movies.
Yeah.
That's what I've been doing. I've been picking them here and there. I'll when I have a little bit of time, and that's what happened with Moneyball. I was like, you know what? I want to watch a movie here today. Started looking through,
I did see
found
the
that one, and said, you know what? Let's give it a look.
I did see that Alex Rodriguez's team, his group of investors, is going to possibly be buying the Timberwolves. Is that
Possibly no. I think that's a done deal.
it's
I
done?
think it's
Okay.
$1.5 billion to he and his partner, who's a tech entrepreneur, have gotten together for a 50-50 split. So I don't know how much of a group it is. It's a 50-50 split on ownership of the Timberwolves. So have it.
1.5 billion, so 750 million apiece.
Yeah, like Trump change for them.
Well, from what I've seen with A-Rod, is he has an extensive. He does a lot of like the way people buy stocks. He buys houses and flips them. That's what
Yeah.
he does. Like out in California and the West Coast, and he buys these like $5 and $6 million houses, and then a year later sells them for 9 or 10 million.
Okay.
So that's he's still got his big time money coming in, man. So I'll give it to him. Hey, maybe it'll help out
Yeah.
the T Wolves a little bit.
There you go. Some excitement and yeah. So we'll see what happens there. I mean, it's always fun to see new ownership. We talked about it a little bit when we were talking about when we first came on
Yeah,
with Orlando City. You know what I mean? I think it always adds a little bit of it's a little refreshing. For especially for the players, not always because of bad stuff that may be happening, but just because like anything in life, after a while things get a little bit I don't want to say stale because I think that's a harsh term, but more like people get comfortable. People,
hmm
things just kind of flatline a little bit. So you add that, inject that little bit of excitement from a new ownership group. It can definitely change some things for any organization. So for the Timberwolves, which is kind of crazy because I mean I guess it's kind of full circle, right? Because we're getting the Minnesota Viking ownership group coming to Orlando, and then
yeah.
we're seeing the Timberwolves, Minnesota Timberwolves, getting bought out. So it's official. The Magic have lost another game to they lost tonight to Atlanta. So we are well on our way to the bottom three, which is where we
Mo
want to be
Bamba didn't
because in
play,
the
man.
NBA, he shouldn't play anyway. Um, Yeah, we're gonna be in the bottom three, so we have high hopes for a first round. The first pick overall.
I
We'll
did
see
see
how that
Russell
goes.
Westbrook broke the record for the most career triple doubles. Was that? He passed somebody. I don't know who he
Yeah.
passed, but he passed somebody. It
Was
was
it
like 87 or
I
107 or something,
think it was like Oscar Robinson. I think it was something like that.
which is,
Um,
I guess, pretty impressive. I guess. I mean,
for a guy who's I mean, just can't seem to win.
yeah,
Lately at least.
he's the Matthew
Yeah,
Stafford of the NBA.
yeah, he is. We talked about it, I think, a couple weeks ago as well when we were talking about him. We were comparing him. It's just a guy that just can't seem to win, regardless of where he goes. He's had superstar players around him,
Yeah.
cannot get over the hump, cannot be on a true winning team. So, yeah, I mean, but good for him. I mean, he's getting his money and he's playing well. I just wish he would win some more, and I'm sure he does too.
So I was thinking about this, and this is obviously we're not gonna do it tonight because we didn't have any time to plan for this. But I've been thinking about um, top 10 picks, right, in sports,
Mhm.
whether it's mostly basketball and football are the two that you really see, and maybe something we could start doing, and maybe we'll start with like the year 2000, but where are they now? We'll take the top 10
Okay.
picks in the NBA or the NFL or both, and find out where they are. Start with whoever the
Yeah,
number 10 pick was or whoever the number one pick was, and see how they progressed.
I like
I
it.
think that'd be pretty
I
cool,
like it.
something to do. Give us some homework to do during the
Yeah,
week.
absolutely.
Give the chat something to do.
Yeah, absolutely. I like that. I mean, I think what we're gonna find is there's gonna be a lot of interesting "where are they nows." We're gonna go, really? That guy is there, huh? I
That
mean,
guy's selling tires now. What?
yeah, yeah. He owns how many of those? Whatever it is, it's gonna be yeah, it's gonna be an interesting
And I
one
think
there. So
21 years back, that should be enough time to where we'll know, Hall of Fame careers, guys that were, flash in the pan guys that were good for a few years, and
yeah,
you'd be surprised. I feel like a lot, especially coming out of the NBA, a lot of these guys they end up becoming coaches in one way or another. NBA coaches, high
yeah,
school coaches, college
yeah,
coaches.
yeah,
So I think that'd be pretty cool
yeah.
to see. So
Even a guy like Ryan Leaf, who did his prison time for whatever it was, is now I think he's the I think he's like a golf coach or something somewhere. I mean, some weird like I remember looking at it going, he's a what? But he's a
yeah.
coach. So
So what we'll do
yeah.
is we'll figure out what we want to do, and what we'll do is
Hmm.
you can have I'll give you the even numbers, and I'll take the odd numbers. So I'll take
Okay,
1, 3, 5, 7, 9. You get 2, 4, 6, 8.
sure. Sounds like a plan.
And we'll
Sounds
do
like a
it that
plan.
way.
I
And
like
you
it.
get 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. You get 10 as well. That way you each
Yep.
get five.
We'll start off with a we'll pick a year and a sport and we'll roll
What
with it,
sport you
man.
want
I
to do?
like
Let's
it.
let's decide it right now. You want to do NFL or NBA? Year 2000.
Whoa. Year 2000. You know what? We may have to do it a little bit later because I think what we'll have to do is we'll have to look at both classes, right? And kind of see
Nope.
which one of the two classes from each sport
We're
kind of
doing
jumps out
both.
a little
Doesn't
bit
matter.
more.
We're gonna do
Oh, okay.
one week, and then we'll switch sports every week. We'll do NFL one week,
Okay.
so it'll take us potentially a year to get to where we are now,
Yeah.
and then we'll
Yeah.
then we'll
Well,
have to start
it'll
over.
be it'll where are we now segment, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
With those sports. So, and you know what? We'll look at them, man. We'll look across the board. If there's anything else that jumps out at us on the, we'll have some. We can throw in
And
some
we
extra
could
names.
realistically we could do both sports in one
Yeah,
session. Can't take us longer than 15, 20 minutes to
yeah,
go through both of
yeah.
them.
So, definitely, we'll do that. We will start looking those up, and next week we can start.
I got to get a
Which is
button
a
where I
good
can like
time.
hit it and have a pop up on the screen. Where are they
Bam!
now? Bam.
It's a good time to start. Timmy, if you want to let them know about next week, what we have going on next week, and the changes that we're trying to make, and what we're trying to do moving forward.
So we talked about this, Ricardo and I, and we kind of made a decision. Mondays were not going to last forever. We knew that, but Mondays are actually were becoming more difficult for us from a,
Mhm.
both of us work a 9 to 5 full time job, so. Mondays are kind of tough because it's normally the busiest day because you 2 days off on the weekend. Everybody and their mother wants to come in and wants business, wants to catch up. So it's a very busy day for us, and we're just kind of cooked on Mondays. So we decided let's move it to
Yeah.
Wednesday since we were going to do that anyways before football season. But officially, we are making our move next week to the stream is going to be on Wednesdays. We're going to be live streaming. Obviously, you guys can always watch it on YouTube. It's always posted up in there right after. And this
Yep.
will allow us to run football once it starts. So we'll have our Thursday night game. We'll be able to hype that up on Wednesday. We'll have
Hmm.
our Saturday. We'll have our some Saturday games, Sunday games, Monday games. Tuesday we'll be able to kind of let the dust settle, get the fantasy stuff figured out, and then Wednesday we'll be able to cover the entire weekend, cover our
Yep.
fantasy stuff, and then hype up for the next week. So that's
Right.
that's kind of our
Right.
goal. That's something we've talked about. We've feel like it's going to be the best move for us, and it's going to be a little bit more convenient for you guys, so you don't have to fight over
Yeah.
Monday Night Football.
Right, right, and then we're also able to partake in those games and watch them so that we can try to break them down and sound somewhat intelligent at least when we're talking about them. But I think it's a good mid. I mean, it's dead smack in the middle of the week. It's a good opportunity to cover, like you said, something wrap up kind of the weekend and lead into the week that is, or the new week to come in sports, in general. You know what I mean? And it's not just football;
Right.
it's just across the board. You know what I mean? Typically, all the fun stuff they leave, all these leagues put all the fun matchups come the weekend, and typically on Monday nights. So it gives us an opportunity to kind of get through those and then jump in there on Wednesday and kind of give our 2 cents on what we saw, what we thought, and what we're thinking moving forward in the weekend to go.
Plus, if we ever want to get Derek Rose or you know Chipper Jones or somebody here, it's a little bit easier for them to come in on Wednesday. They don't have to worry about games or practice or anything like that. So
Yeah, that's right. That's right. So we'll see. We'll see. We're always trying to come up with different ways to make it better. It is a work in progress. Tim and I, we work hard during the week, and like you said, our regular gigs. We are family guys as well, but we definitely take this serious and want to make sure that we put out something good and fun for everybody. And like we said, it's for everybody to enjoy and for everybody to partake in. So hopefully Wednesday makes it a little bit easier for people to get on, get the chat nice and lively, and get everybody in here to partake in the part of the show.
definitely. And I am doing some research. And I haven't been talking to you about this, but I am working on getting some more fun stuff for the actual channel. We've got a lot of dead
Hmm.
space there beneath us, and I want to try and work on getting some pop-ups, getting some gifs or something, some sound effects.
Yeah.
I'm really trying to figure out how to incorporate that into some of the equipment that I have, and it's a work in progress. A lot of it, especially with sound bites, it's a lot of work because it's finding them and pulling them and clipping them. But
Right.
yeah, so that's a work in progress. But yeah, we're gonna try and start getting a set schedule of to do stuff for the channel, like the where are they
Hmm.
now stuff, and being
Yep.
able to incorporate some actual content onto the screen to kind of draw you
Yep.
guys in. So
Yep. We'll have a little more structure to it. That way, hopefully, we give you guys a little bit of something to look forward to in terms of some of these segments that we have planned. I really like this idea that we're going to try to break these down. I think that's going to be really fun. I think again we're going to find some really cool and
hmm
interesting kind of stuff about some of these guys and where they're at outside of the sport because as much as we want to think it's a top 10 pick, I think we're going to be very surprised to realize how many of these top 10 guys actually don't make it anywhere and end
yeah,
up doing something else in life. So I'm really excited about that one there. And, we still have our hashtag, so we can kind of hitting that up. And then, we always have our larger topic, much like today, we're talking about Tim Tebow and Colin Kaepernick. So, we'll start kind of structuring it out. We have our intro videos that we're going to try to incorporate as well. We have some that we're really excited about. That we're moving forward this week. Hopefully, we keep everybody engaged and have some fun.
there it
Timmy's
is.
got them there on the screen. Looks awesome. Yeah, it'll be a part of what we do moving forward.
So other than that, man, I think that's gonna wrap it up for us. We covered a lot tonight. I was not expecting. for us to be doing our normal rambling on for an hour and a half. But
Yeah.
that was a pretty success. We know it's Thursday, guys. End of the week is coming up. Payday for some people. For most people, that just means paying bills. But we got the weekend coming up, man. Get a little bit of a break. Maybe breathe some air. Make sure you guys are gassing up. For some reason, Florida has a gas shortage, and I don't know why. This pipeline doesn't even affect the state, but apparently everybody needs gas. Be smart. Don't
Yeah.
fill up, plastic tubs and plastic bags with gas because people are doing
Doesn't
that.
work out well.
People are doing that. It
Yeah.
doesn't work out well. I'm just letting you know.
Yeah. 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 I mean, overall, I mean, I've seen some of the pictures and some of the videos. Yeah, it's crazy. Stay safe out there. Be smart, please. We want to be able to have you guys joining us and listening to us, and in order to do that, you have to be well. So be safe.
But that's going to wrap it up. We've got nothing really big coming up. I know we've got. I got a wedding in July, but other than that, when it comes to actual to do stuff, man, the sky is the limit. We're just trying to figure out and weave our way in and out here of how we can attend some sporting events. I know we've got single A baseball. We've been talking about going to Daytona,
Yeah.
trying to get
Yeah.
some peeps in there with that. But other than that, we're going to let you guys get out of here. Have a safe night. Have a good night. Make good choices, and we will see you guys on the sideline.